Hey everyone, and welcome back. So today we're going to be reviewing Double Dragon Gaiden Rise of the Dragons on the Nintendo Switch. Now this game is a 2D side-scrolling beat-em-up that released on July 27th of 2023, and it currently sells for $24.99 on the Nintendo Switch eShop. The game is being published by Maximum Games, and it has a download size of 1.6 gigabytes. Now Double Dragon is one of the longest running beat-em-up franchises on the planet, and God knows it's had some ups and downs over the last few years. So when I heard it was getting a ground-up reimagining done in awesome pixel art, I was extremely excited. Now was that excitement rewarded? Well, that's what we'll figure out in today's review. And now as we jump in, don't forget that because we're on a mission to hit 20,000 subscribers, to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you aren't already. So this game is a reimagining of the Double Dragon origin story. The game starts with the new mayor bringing an unconscious Marion into your dojo. He then proceeds to ask for your help in taking down the gangs that are currently controlling your city. As good martial arts heroes, you accept and embark on a journey to take down the gangs. The storyline is delivered through short cutscenes before each boss encounter and at the end of each level. The story does have a very generic feel to it, but nonetheless fits in well with the retro arcade vibe the game is going for. And although the dialogue is slightly cheesy, it once again fits in with the flavor of the game. So the majority of the gameplay fits in with what you would expect from a side-scrolling beat-em-up. You will be making your way through 4 different levels, separated into different sections, as you battle your way through waves of enemies. However, what separates Double Dragon Gaiden from most other beat-em-ups is that you can select the order in which you want to tackle the levels. And this will affect the difficulty of each level, as the gangs will more heavily fortify their compounds in preparation for your arrival. The later levels will also get longer, adding in new sections. Now this adds a ton of replayability, as changing the order of the levels will deliver new experiences and even affect the nature of the boss fights. Even after 5 playthroughs, I'm still excited for more runs, as I have still not seen every variation. Now the controls themselves are very responsive, and very easy to pick up using an auto combo formula for your normal attacks, and a dedicated button for your special attack, of which each character has 3 variations by combining the special button with a directional button on your controller. Now both the D-pad and analog stick can be used for character control, something I always greatly appreciate. This simple yet effective control scheme makes the game a breeze to jump into, yet the enormous variation in the way each character executes their movesets adds a lot of depth. And with 4 characters to start out with and 9 to unlock, once again this leads to enormous replayability. The game also utilizes a tag system, where each player chooses 2 characters and can swap on the fly when your special meter is full. In my opinion, this is probably the best overall element of the combat system, as it allows for some crazy long combos and also allows you to tactically choose your characters based on the challenges. Now for the moment, 2-player local co-op is available, and I heard whispers of an update that might bring online co-op. Now this choice of simple control system also leads to a lot of approachability, where the depth comes from strategic thinking and adaptation rather than complex inputs. Furthermore, there is a roguelike element to the gameplay. However, I strongly hesitate to really call this game a roguelike. The only true randomness occurs in the power-ups offered to your characters at the end of each level or section. And these range from extra health, faster charging specials, stronger attacks, and much more. This does add some variation to the playthroughs, but it isn't enough in my opinion to call this a roguelike. Lastly, and I have already slightly mentioned it, there are a ton of unlockables, from 9 extra characters to song tracks, and even gameplay hints to give you better mastery over the game. And I really enjoy this, as it gives you a lot of motivation to replay the game. Personally, for a beat 'em up, the most important factor I look for is replayability, and this game has a ton of it. Now however, everything is not perfect. First of all, the challenge level between the different stages is very uneven. And if you leave the wrong one to last, you could be in for a heap of trouble. Meaning this might turn some people off in their first run just because they chose the wrong order. Secondly, the character balance is also off. And if you choose the wrong duo, there are some challenges that will be very difficult to overcome. The good news, however, is that when you use a continue, you can swap characters. Now, there are some platforming sections that feel a little odd during some of the levels, given the overall control scheme. But technically, that's always been a part of Double Dragon, just maybe one that should be forgotten. Lastly, for the issues, some enemy combinations can stun lock you and almost knock you completely out without ever having the chance to react, leading to some frustrations. Overall, even with the flaws, I find the overall experience a very enjoyable one, and remember, if you get stuck sometimes, it might be better to cash out and try different characters and a different order for the levels. Graphically, the game is going for a retro pixel art style, and for a 2D side-scrolling beat-em-up, it is still one of the best options. Where I was slightly hesitant when I first saw the game was the chibi-esque design of the characters. However, after playing the game, it really does work well with the gameplay and the overall vibe, while delivering an original look to the game, so it's a win in my book. Performance-wise, it all runs very well on the Switch, whether docked or handheld. Although I did find that the text was somewhat small in handheld. Also, the load times can feel a little lengthy, but luckily there are few of them. Sound-wise, we have a very solid offering that definitely amps up the action. The variety is also very good. Now, I would not equate the soundtrack to the likes of Shredder's Revenge or Streets of Rage 4, but it nonetheless delivers a very respectable auditory experience. Another win. Now it's time for the verdict, and if this is one of the first reviews of mine that you're watching, my full review scale is available down below in the description of the video. And now, in the case of Double Dragon Gaiden Rise of the Dragons on the Nintendo Switch, I'm going to be giving this game an 8, putting it at the low end of a great game. Overall, I really think this game delivers a great beat-em-up experience with a ton of replayability and also approachability. However, what's really preventing me from giving it a higher score is number 1, the balancing issues in some parts of the game, and although it looks like it's promised for a future update, for the moment it really is lacking that online play. So now I want to hear from all of you. Are you going to be picking up Double Dragon Gaiden Rise of the Dragons on the Nintendo Switch? Let me know in the comments down below. And on the way out, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you aren't already, and click on that notification bell so you know when all my future content comes out. And as usual, I hope I'll see you in my next video.